Build a mind so strong it scares people. It's that simple. They say strength is built in the body, but that's a lie. The strongest people you'll ever meet didn't build muscle first. They built something far more powerful, a mind so strong, it made people uncomfortable. Why? Because real mental strength makes excuses irrelevant. It silences doubt. It intimidates mediocrity. And when you walk into a room with that kind of auto-control, people feel it, even if they can't explain it. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. The very thing you've been avoiding, discomfort, routine, discipline, failure, that's exactly where your power lives. Not in motivational quotes, not in quick fixes, but in the daily war between who you are and who you know you could be. While others pray for ease, the uncommon ones prepare for resistance. Because they understand, strength isn't given. It's earned, rep by rep, thought by thought, action by action. This video is not here to inspire you. It's here to wake you up. You're about to learn how to forge a mindset that doesn't flinch, doesn't beg for comfort, and doesn't crumble under pressure. And once you understand what separates the mentally weak from the mentally unbreakable, you'll never see yourself, or your limits, the same way again. Stay with me, because this isn't about hype. It's about rewiring your entire approach to life. The mental shift. There's a silent turning point, almost invisible, that separates those who complain from those who create. It's the moment you stop wishing for an easy life and start preparing for a strong one. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding pain, running from discomfort, chasing shortcuts. But the truth is, no shortcut leads to real mental strength. Life wasn't meant to be comfortable all the time. It was meant to shape you. Every pain is an opportunity to build resilience, and every obstacle is an invitation to develop your inner strength. Have you ever noticed how some people rise after everything while others collapse at the first stumble? The difference isn't what happens to them, it's how they respond. That's the key. Response, reaction. The mentally strong treat pain as mental training, while the weak complain. It's just like the gym. If you don't feel the burn, the muscle won't grow. In the same way, if your mind never faces challenges, it stays soft, exposed, and unprepared. What you call a problem might actually be the tool shaping your character. So pause and ask yourself, what if every failure, every fall, every hard day was really a secret training ground? A silent test to see if you're ready for the next level. This mindset shift, this subtle adjustment in your thinking, is what turns ordinary people into mental giants. Because real growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. And sometimes, it all begins with one simple decision: stop running. And believe me, there are people who've taken this idea to the ultimate extreme. David Goggins' story. There was once a man who looked nothing like strength. Overweight, depressed, and stuck in a dead-end job spraying for cockroaches, David Goggins had every reason to give up. But one night, something snapped, not in a breakdown, but a breakthrough. He watched a documentary about Navy SEALs and saw in them what he lacked: discipline, mental toughness, and a mission bigger than pain. At that moment, he made a decision most wouldn't dare to dream. He was going to transform. Now let's be clear. This wasn't just some motivational surge that faded the next day. Goggins had to lose over 100 pounds in 3 months to even qualify for SEAL training. That meant waking up at 4 a.m., running for miles, pushing past pain that would stop most people cold. It wasn't about motivation anymore. It was about grit, auto-discipline, and raw, deliberate action. His body screamed. His mind rebelled, but his will stayed firm. He didn't chase comfort. He hunted down discomfort and made it his ally. Through rejection, failure, and physical agony, Goggins became one of the world's toughest endurance athletes. Not because he was gifted, but because he refused to quit when others would have made excuses. He understood that the edge of suffering is where the mind sharpens. And this isn't just his story, it's a mirror. What excuses have you made lately? What comfort zone have you mistaken for safety? Because the real challenge isn't becoming like Goggins. It's becoming the version of you that no longer runs from the pain. 3 habits that weaken you. There are invisible chains most people wear their whole lives. Chains made not of metal, but of habits. And the first of these is complaining. Every time you complain, you're surrendering your power. You're saying, I can't do anything about this, when in fact, you can. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about reclaiming your autonomy. Either fix the problem or accept it and move forward. but whining about it. That only strengthens the cage you're in. Then there's the second silent killer, chasing comfort. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. The minute you start prioritizing ease over evolution, you've already chosen stagnation. Watching another episode instead of learning a new skill, hitting snooze instead of rising early. Those are the micro decisions that shape your life. The mentally strong don't look for what's easy. They look for what builds discipline. And they know that the path to super KO is always paved with discomfort. And finally, the most seductive lie of all, excuses. I don't have time. I'm not ready. I'll start Monday. Excuses are comforting. They protect your ego, but they destroy your progress. Each excuse is a delay to your transformation, a small act of autosabotage that keeps you stuck. And the most dangerous part? They sound rational. That's why it takes deep autoconhecimiento to recognize them, and fierce determinatio to crush them. Because once you drop those 3 habits, you make room to build what truly matters. Daily habits for mental strength. Mental strength isn't built during moments of glory. It's built in the silence of your routine, in the tiny decisions no one sees. Take cold showers, for example. They're uncomfortable, shocking even, but they train your brain to lean into discomfort instead of away from it. It's not just about toughness. It's about proving to yourself, every morning, that you are in control, not your feelings. That kind of self-discipline ripples into every part of your life. Another cornerstone? Physical exercise. The link between your body and mind is undeniable. When you push your body, your mind adapts. A strong body builds a strong mind. That's why even a simple 30-minute workout, a run, or some weightlifting becomes more than fitness. It becomes mental training. Want to read while working out? Try Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins or Atomic Habits by James Clear. You'll be building both your mindset and your body at the same time. And let's not forget the internal gym, meditation. It's not about becoming a monk. It's about sharpening focus, emotional control, and awareness. 10 minutes a day is enough to shift your entire state of being. Pair that with doing one hard thing daily, whether it's waking up early, having a tough conversation, or tackling that task you've avoided, and you're now developing true grit. Because in the end, it's not what you do once in a while. It's your daily habits that determine the strength of your mind. Emotional mastery. Your emotions are not the enemy, but if you don't learn to manage them, they'll manage you. Most people go through life reacting, exploding in anger, drowning in anxiety, freezing in fear. But emotional auto-control is a muscle, and like any muscle, it strengthens with use. The mentally strong don't allow emotions to hijack their decisions. They pause, they breathe, and they create space between what happens and how they choose to respond. It's like being in the middle of a storm. You can't stop the rain, but you can build shelter. That shelter is emotional mastery, knowing how to stay grounded when the world shakes. One simple but powerful habit: count to 5 before reacting. Just 5 seconds. That's all it takes to shift from impulsive reaction to intentional response. It might sound too simple, but this habit has saved marriages, business deals, and even lives. It's not about suppressing emotions, it's about channeling them. Think of emotions like waves. They rise, they crash, and they pass. But if you try to chase or fight them, you drown. Learning to navigate those waves is what separates those with true force mental from those ruled by their moods. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean being cold. It means being clear. Clear in thought, clear in direction, clear in purpose. And that clarity? It becomes your secret weapon when everything around you feels like chaos. Reframe failure. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of something most people never dare to explore: growth. Society trains us to fear failure, to feel ashamed of it. But the truth is, behind every great success story, there's a trail of rejected ideas, lost battles, and broken plans. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded. What made them unstoppable wasn't talent. It was how they reframed failure. You see, failure is just feedback. It's life saying, you're trying, but not quite there yet. It's the compass that guides your mindset toward resilience and long-term super KO. If you failed recently, good. That means you're in the game. You're building muscle. Because the only people who never fail are the ones who never try. And you? You're not here to play small. You're here to grow, to adapt, to evolve. Rajiko is just a redirection. Next time you stumble, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? See, the mentally unbreakable don't crumble when they fall. They rebuild. Stronger, smarter, wiser. They see every crack as proof they're being reforged into something better. Failure isn't a label, it's a lesson. And when you stop fearing it, you unlock a kind of mental freedom that most never touch. But that shift, it starts inside, with how you see yourself and how you choose to move forward. Mindset and attitude. There's a truth most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. You can't control everything, but you can always control how you respond. Life will test you through loss, betrayal, setbacks, uncertainty. But in the middle of that storm, you have a choice. Will you be the victim of circumstance or the author of your reaction? The mentally strong don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I do with this? That's the attitude that transforms suffering into crescimento. This isn't about being emotionless or pretending to enjoy pain. It's about choosing autonomia in a world that constantly tries to shake you. When the world pushes, you plant your feet. That's força interior. That's mentalidade in action. You don't fold under pressure. You adapt. You respond with clarity, not chaos. And no, this doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of deliberate treinamento mental, sharpening your focus, refining your beliefs, and elevating your standards every single day. It's easy to point fingers. It's easy to blame the economy, your childhood, your boss, or your bad luck. But the attitude that builds força mental is the one that looks in the mirror and says, I'm responsible for what comes next. That shift puts you back in the driver's seat. Because when you truly believe your response is stronger than your problem, suddenly, nothing feels impossible. And the fuel that keeps that belief alive, day after day, it's not motivation. Discipline, motivation. Let's be honest, motivation is a liar. It shows up when it wants, disappears when you need it most, and convinces you that not feeling like it is a valid excuse. That's why the truly mentally strong don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not exciting, but it's consistent. It's the quiet, powerful force that makes you get up when it's dark, work when you're tired, and keep going when it hurts. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what needs to be done. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't skip it because you're not motivated, right? It's just part of your system. That's how your goals should be. Don't just aim to get fit. Build the habit of showing up to the gym. Don't dream about success. Install a routine that forces you to show up for your purpose daily. When you shift your focus from results to rituals, from emotions to execution, your life begins to change. One rep, one page, one decision at a time. The greats aren't made in moments of inspiration. They're forged in the routine. Champions aren't built on hype. They're built on consistencia. Want to grow? Then forget the perfect mood. Show up, rain or shine. Because while others wait to feel ready, you'll already be moving. And once you realize that discipline is your freedom, then the real transformicao begins. You're stronger than you think. Here's the truth no one tells you. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the fire, the resilience. It's not something you're missing, it's something you've buried. And now, it's time to dig it out. You've got two choices from here. You can scroll away, numb the discomfort, and return to the false comfort that's kept you stuck. Or you can decide, right here, right now, that you're done playing small. That this version of you is just the beginning. The world won't slow down for you to catch up. Your future self? They're already waiting. The only question is, will you rise to meet them? Because this isn't just about feeling inspired for a few minutes. It's about choosing to become someone who can't be broken. Someone who trains in the silence, grows through the pressure, and thrives in the chaos. You're not here by accident. You were built for something greater. So make the decision. Not tomorrow. Now. Close the gap between who you are and who you could be. And if this message lit something inside of you, don't let it burn out. Pass it on. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you're serious about becoming mentally unshakable, hit subscribe. This journey, it's just getting started. Now that you know the truth, what are you going to do with it? Are you still going to wait for the right time? Will you let the comfort zone convince you that tomorrow is a good day to begin? Or will you finally decide that you've had enough of self-sabotage, enough of living on autopilot, and that it's time to take control? You've got the map in your hands. But the map is useless if you don't start walking. Will you keep saying, "I know what I need to do," or will you finally do it? How many years of your life have you already handed over to fear, inconsistency, and lack of focus? And more importantly, how much longer are you willing to live below your potential? If this stirred something inside you, if you felt like this video spoke directly to your soul, then prove it to yourself. Start by applying just one thing today. And if you want to keep going on this journey of self-mastery, grit, and true transformation, then subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs this message. Remember, you are far stronger than you think, but you'll only discover that strength if you have the courage to act.